Hey, I don't want to waste your time. I just quickly want to introduce myself. I'm Fellipe the Barber and welcome to my channel where I teach you my approach to barbering. If you feel like you got a lot of value out of this video, consider subscribing and follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Fellipe.thebarber. Without further ado, let's get to the haircut.
This haircut is going to be a high skin fade and a messy top. I'm going to trim a little bit of the top and make it almost like a crop top. So to begin the haircut, every haircut I begin always spraying a little bit of water and sectioning the hair. If the client has some product in the hair and I don't have time to shampoo the hair, I will throw on a hot towel to dilute that product a little bit. Usually does the job. So sectioning the hair here on both corners, and then I will begin my fade. The first thing I do, 9 times out of 10, I will begin by setting a top guideline. Because this is a high skin fade, I am setting the top guideline with a 1.5. In this case, I have a 1 guard with the blade open, and I am setting that top guideline as high as possible without following the shape of the head. Soon after that, I will start to set my bottom guideline. Now the bottom guideline is going to follow the same shape that I set the top guideline with. So I will take my trimmer. This is a Babyliss FX trimmer, and I'm going to start to set that bottom guideline. In this case, I begin to set the bottom guideline from the back, and then I connected the back to the sides. Now as you see here, the shape of the top guideline is exactly the same as the bottom. You want them to be identical, otherwise the fade, if you don't know what you're doing, then the fade is not going to be completely, blended and whatnot. So the top, the bottom is completely done. I'm gonna take my foil shaver and add that a little bit of effect, right? Another layer of transition. I'm using the Bronze Series 5. I will take this foil shaver over any, quote unquote barbering foil shaver out there. It is smooth, and clients will notice how much smoother this foil shaver is. To move on with the fade, I will set a middle guideline. Now this middle guideline is going to be set with a 1/2. I open the blade using this Wall Sterling 4 clipper, and I'm going to set the middle guideline directly in between the top and the bottom guideline. Right after I do that, I always fade from the bottom up. So here I have my Alpha Gamma Plus, and I start to work on the bottom line first, flicking that line out, opening the lever, and then I will move on to the middle line with a number 1 guard with the blade closed this time. I start to work that line, and if for some reason you see that the line isn't completely coming off, then at that point you know that you need to throw on the 1/2 guard. That's exactly what I'm doing here, and I open the lever slightly and start flaking out the line little by little. Okay, so the fade is completely finished. Now it's time to blend that midsection. That midsection, you can do it a couple of different ways. Using the clipper over comb is the easiest and quickest and most effective way to blend that midsection, especially when the fade is super tight.
Hey, if you're struggling with your fade, if you're taking too long, not consistent, and can't repeat the same fade over and over again, it's probably because you don't have a system. I'm not here to sell you. I'm simply going to present the opportunity to you to learn my 3-step fade system through a course I've put together. So click on the link in the description below to find out more.
And you're keeping the sides short and tight. So keeping the comb 90 degrees, I will go ahead and start to blend that midsection. Right after that, I'll take my 7-inch shears and I am going to start blending even more. So because I know I'm going to cut the top of the hair, I'm going to trim that. I am going to start following the shape of the head a little bit while I do the scissor over comb. If for some reason I wasn't doing that, I would just keep the scissor over comb at a 90-degree angle, the same way I left the clipper over comb. So now, trimming the top, I'm gonna start from the front, work my way backwards, and then from side to side. So I'm taking probably a 1/4 inch off the top, a little bit more so off the back of the head, and I will make sure that everything is even, cross check, and add a little bit of texture on top using my 13-tooth texturizing shear. This is honestly the quickest and fastest way to add some texture. The only thing you have to worry about and keep in mind is that do not use those shears close to the scalp. Okay, you do not want to cut too close to the scalp. So the haircut is done here, finished. At the end, I will style it a little bit, but at this point, I will move on with the beard. Now the beard, this client came in with product, a little bit of wax, so I spray some water, comb it a little bit, and then add that hot towel to try to get that beard as close to natural as possible. And then I would dry it off. So now every beard I do, I always begin by fading in the sideburns. When I'm working on a beard, I always work on the cheeks first, and then I start working towards the bottom. So fading that sideburn in, I am going to keep that fade in a short space. I'm gonna be fading from a 0, right? That's what I did with the foil shaver. So I'm gonna start working my way backwards. The 0, then a half, a 1, a 1.5, and then a 2, going with the grain. I take the number 2. A number 2 or a 1.5 guard is a very good 2 guards that are good to go with the grain. Once I finish blending the sideburns, then I freehand the rest of the beard. I've seen guys use the actual like a wall magic clip to do this, but I like to use my endless slimline just because it's small, it is nimble, it is very light, and for me it works really well. As you see here, I like to do a technique with my freehand. The heavier the clipper, the harder it is for you to control it. So yeah, and then just freehanding the shape. I'm keeping the shape as rounded square. So the corners of the square is rounded, and that's the kind of the shape of the beard that I'm leaving. Once I finish with the shaping of the beard, then I'll go ahead and start trimming the mustache. Once I finish the shaping, I will lean the client back and I will continue to shape the bottom of the beard, keeping that, you know, squared shape. Little eyebrow trim. So now the beard is trimmed. It is finished, and now it's time to do a little bit of the lineup with the razor. So I'm applying a little bit of that Easy Blade shaving gel and add the hot towel and start razoring. In this particular haircut, I am only going to razor the cheeks. I'm not going to razor any of the hairline. The client does not like any of the boxed look, so this is just to set that nice and clean line around the cheeks. Nothing super sharp. Also, I am not using any enhancements in this beard haircut at all. All of my haircut videos are done in real time. Applying enhancements is something that I do not offer as a service. However, sometimes I do use it for haircut video purposes. In this case, I didn't. And doing a little bit of styling on top of the hair, applying a little bit of that paste. And that's the final product right there.
Thank you for watching. If you got to this point of the video, I know for a fact you got a lot of value. And the way you can support is by subscribing to this channel and following me on Instagram and TikTok. Stay safe.